Welcome to today's episode of our finance podcast. We have an inspiring guest with us, podcaster Ravi Handa, who achieved financial independence and retired early at the age of 39 in 2022. In his free time, Ravi hosts the Desi FIRE podcast, where he engages in thought provoking conversations with finance experts. But Ravi's journey to FIRE is just as fascinating as his insights. He founded a niche edtech company that was successfully acquired by the unicorn startup Unacademy in 2021. Before that, he played a key role as an early employee at Mindtickle, again, another unicorn startup. His wealth of experience in the startup world, combined with his passion for personal finance, makes him the perfect guest to explore today's topic, which is asset allocation and early retirement. So, without further ado, let's dive into the conversation with Ravi and learn how you can build a path towards financial independence. So, welcome Ravi to our podcast, and we are excited to have you and to discuss with you about financial independence. Welcome once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
So, Ravi, this concept of FIRE, financial independence and retired early. So this is trending now. Please briefly share your journey and what inspired you to pursue, that financial independence and get retired early. That is at the age of 39.
Thank you, ma'am. So there are essentially, first of all, let us understand the concept which is there. The concept talks about financial independence and early retirement. These are two very separate things. Now, it is possible that you become financially independent, but you decide not to retire. So that
Right.
means you have more than the money that you will need. What is financial independence? Financial independence means you have enough money to take care of your necessary expenses, needs, and the basic lifestyle that you need. And essentially, not a very extravagant lifestyle, not something where you are spending a lot, but a normal lifestyle. You can maintain that. Retire early is if you don't really need any more money, then why would you work? So you can A, choose to retire early, like I did, and then follow your passion projects, pursue the things that you want to do. For example, podcasting is something that I wanted to do. I'm doing that now. I'm making crosswords for a different company. I'm conducting some seminars here and there. So I get time to do all of these activities, which any working professional would understand that you don't get time to follow all these hobbies.
Right. Right.
That is and I'm able to do that because I was able to save enough amount of money throughout
Right.
my career, and B is because I have all these passion projects to work on. Because a lot of people feel, okay, fine, even if I get the money, what will I do once I am sitting at home? And that question also needs to be answered.
Addressed.
So I started my career in 2000, mid 2000s, 2006, and my starting salary at that point of time, I believe, was around 30,000 rupees per month.
Okay.
I started working in Calcutta. Now, Calcutta is not a very expensive place to be. And
Right.
also, 20 years ago, 30,000 was a good salary as well.
Yeah.
So I was able to save some money. And as soon as I started saving some money, first of all, I saved for buying a laptop, which
Mm.
people now everyone has. But at that point of time, you needed to save to
Yes.
buy a laptop. It used to be a costly affair.
Yeah.
I bought a Honda Activa within first couple of years of working because I needed something to commute. But over and above that, sort of like beyond those basic expenses, I started saving and I started investing all of that money in the stock markets.
Okay.
2007 was a very boom time. I invested. And 2008, I lost a lot of that money
Okay.
between the financial crisis. And I realized that I'm not very, very good at selecting where to invest that money. 2009 onwards, I started investing in mutual funds where I give my money to someone, let a
Okay.
professional handle it. In a
Hmm.
mutual fund, you are not deciding where to invest.
Correct.
The professional who is handling 10,000 crores, he will handle your 10,000 rupees also. So give my money to him, they manage it. Since then, whenever I had any surplus money, whenever any investment decision went well, I have stayed invested in mutual funds for now 15 years.
Okay.
And because of, you keep investing for 15 years, the corpus grows. And that is why I was able to be financially independent and to retire early. The idea, I didn't really have a very strong idea or very strong plan that, okay, I'll do it in 2020 or anything like that. Various things happened. I became a father in 2020, so there was a new
Okay.
responsibility. I was running a business which was being run with both me and my wife running it. The business got acquired. Now, after the acquisition, I had to work with the acquiring company, but my wife was taking care of the child. And then it happened that, okay, let's both take care of the child for the first few years. And
Okay.
that's why we thought that, perhaps anyway, she has to be at home, so I'll also be at home with her.
Right. So, do you think that investing in mutual funds in a professional manner,
Mm.
that is again one of the thing so that you could decide about its financial independence? Is that the one
Absolutely.
of the element? Yeah.
I'll say the biggest element was I started doing my own business in 2012, which was an
Okay.
online. Now, when you do a business, there are two main kinds of business that happen in India. One is business which is happening on borrowed money.
Correct.
You do investments, you do equity, and then you deploy that money in building your business. And
Hmm.
then your whatever profits you have. First of all, most people don't get profits. Let us assume whatever profits you have, those profits also get distributed. They go first to the people who have put in the money. I never raised any investments because my business was a very, very small business.
Okay.
Plus, it was a tech business, so it did not really require, that you need to build a building or some high-tech software and stuff like that. So I did not raise any external
Because it
funding.
was at that time when, 10 years or
Yes,
12
what was
years
it?
back. So it was
2012.
a different scenario when it was at tech. So it was like promising thing that time.
Correct, correct. It was a
Right.
very early thing, so
Yeah.
not expensive to start. Whatever profits I had from the business,
Hmm.
those profits stayed with me because there
Hmm.
was no other partner.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
B, I invested those profits in mutual funds.
Hmm.
Both of these things combined, I believe, help. So make running a profitable business, that I'll say would
Correct.
be one. Second would be, yes, investing in mutual funds and not making any bad decisions. Some people put a lot of money in a flat and the flat gets delayed, or they
Yes.
buy a particular stock and the stock does not
Correct.
work. So thankfully, till date, I have not made any big mistakes, and that is why I have been able
So
to.
second thing I would say first is the mutual fund investment. Second is your business profit because you were earning a good amount of money
Correct.
after 5 6 years of your career journey. And the third thing that you have not committed any mistake while
I
investing.
have not committed. So I have committed lots of mistakes, but
Okay.
somehow I have been lucky that the mistakes have been with 2% and the good things have been with 20% of
Correct.
my portfolio. So
Huh.
even if the mistakes that have taken place,
Hmm.
because I'm someone who likes to really experiment and take risks with money.
Correct. Correct.
When it comes to taking risks, if I'm investing in equity markets, that is a risk. But that is a risk I will take with a substantial portion of my portfolio.
Okay.
Investing in startups is very, very risky. All
Hmm.
your money will go to zero. Investing in crypto is very, very risky. All your money can go to zero. So there I will invest only 1%, 2% of my portfolio. Because even if you lose that 2%, it's not going to break your bank.
So if anyone thinks that they want to achieve this financial freedom, right?
Hmm.
So what number are we looking at to cover, the expenses after the retirement?
See, it depends upon how far your retirement is.
Correct.
Let's say if you are 45 right now and you're planning to retire by 50,
Hmm.
it's a very different discussion versus if you are 25 right now and you're planning to retire at 45, it's a very different discussion.
Can we just
Because,
compare and you can just explain?
let's
Yes,
just do
yes,
see,
please. Yeah.
uh, there are two big differences between 45 plus 5. There is a 5 years, so the time period is less. But by the time you are 45, you know what your lifestyle is.
Yeah.
Probably know which city you are going to live in.
Hmm.
In all probability, if you are thinking of early retirement, you are doing well financially, you will probably own the house that you are in. By the time you are 45, most probably your kids will probably be in college or almost going to college. So, most of your big expenses in life are already done. Only big expense which is left is your day to day expenses. Because if you are 45 right now
Hmm.
and you live till 90, you have 45 more years to live and you
Correct.
need to eat in those years. Milk costs 50 rupees per liter today. 10 years down the line, it is bound to cost 100 or even more than that. You will,
Inflation would be there. Yeah.
inflation
Cost.
would.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but at least for this particular person, he has a rough idea of at the age of 50 what his expenses are going to be.
Hmm.
So, these people can target somewhere around 30 times that number. So,
Okay.
if you believe that your expenses are going to be 100 rupees per year when the you are aged 50,
So annual, we are talking like annually
annually,
how much we need. So that,
annually how much you
huh.
need. So,
Okay.
suppose annually you need 100 rupees, then total you need 3,000 rupees.
Hmm.
Annually you need 1 crore rupees, then you need 30 crore
30
rupees.
crores. Yeah.
Whatever is your annual amount, now that a 45-year-old guy can figure that out. But a
Yes.
25-year-old guy,
Huh.
what would be that amount at 45? They cannot. They don't
Correct.
know how many kids they will have. They don't know which city they will be living in. They don't know how much money they are earning right now and probably they are going to make. A
Hmm.
45-year-old will have an idea that at 46, 47, 48, how much he is going to make.
Correct.
You ask the 25-year-old how much you are going to make at 28, he cannot tell you. If his career goes very well, I have seen students at 25, whatever they were earning, by 28, their salary has become two times, three, sometimes even three times in 3 years. This is not something that actually happens for 45-year-olds. 45 year
Correct.
olds don't get that much growth. So for a 25-year-old, what he can do is you just keep investing in mutual funds. You just keep investing in equity. Don't worry about what that number is going to be. What keep investing for 15 years. At 40, we will see again where your financial status is because you will start getting an idea once you have kids.
Hmm.
Then you can. But that does not mean that you don't invest. You have to save. You have to invest in mutual funds. That should start happening at 25. How much,
So
etc. We'll figure
yeah,
out
right.
later.
So for our audience, as I said, we have, professionals, young professionals, those who are watching our show. So let's be specific. Say, for example, somebody is between 25 to 30 and
Hmm.
earning around 70 to 80,000. I'm just taking at the lower side because not everybody is in IT or
100.
everybody is, yeah.
I very strongly like to suggest anyone who is watching this video,
Hmm.
please never think about 70,000 rupees or
Hmm.
1 crore rupees or any particular amount. Always think of money in percentages. I am
Correct.
earning 100 rupees. If you are earning 100 rupees, typically 20 rupees is going to go in taxes. And then another 20 is going to go in your compulsory retirement contributions if you are a salaried professional, which
Correct.
is your NPS and your PF, and also your PPF is another one which I believe most people should have. After all this, you will have expenses. After all those expenses, what will you be left with? And if you are lucky enough to have 10,000 left after all that, start a 10,000 SIP into an equity fund for the long term. If you have 20,000 left, start an SIP of 20,000 rupees. If after all this you have 5 lakh rupees left, put that 5 lakh rupees in an equity fund. It does not matter after all your expenses, all your compulsory contributions, whatever is left should go for long terms in equity. But before you do all that, some basic things you need to do.
Okay.
One is sort out your insurance.
Hmm.
Before you even think about investing, see, investing is level two. Level one is your basic should be clear. First basic, your insurance.
Hmm.
Because health insurance and whatever highest health insurance that you can afford, please get that. India, today, whatever it is, it's not that expensive to be honest, healthcare in India.
Correct.
But the rate of change, if you look at it, what it was 10 years ago versus what it is today, it has boomed. And if the same thing happens in the next 20, 30 years, when you will be old, you need to get a very high quality health insurance as soon as possible.
Right.
You
Right.
also get other insurances, like if you have a car, get the best quality insurance for your car. Don't compromise that I will take the cheapest one or the, so 50% coverage one or only the third party liability. Get the best possible health insurance, get the best possible car insurance, get the best possible term insurance for your life. So, first, do the insurance. Once insurance is covered, you need to build an emergency fund.
Right.
The idea of emergency fund is that it should take care of your expenses for the next 6 months. Suppose you get into an accident and you have a fracture in your hand and you get fired from your job. Or just generally, also, people can lose jobs and they don't find any other jobs for the next 6 months. Or even if you want to negotiate with your boss that I will leave your job if you don't give me a promotion, you can do all of that if you have a 6 months of emergency fund with you, that whatever happens, I have this money.
Hmm.
This 6 months of emergency fund should be in 100% safe assets. Do an FD. Because how much will be 6 months of expenses? Not much. You can also buy slightly tax efficient products such as liquid mutual funds or ultra short term mutual funds. Maybe some users might not be aware about it. They're not that complicated. You can check them out. But fixed deposits is something that I believe everyone would know. 6 months of your expenses should be in assets which are 100% safe. Your emergency fund is there. Your insurance is done. Your compulsory contributions are done. NPS, do maximum possible. PF, do maximum possible. PPF, do maximum possible. Once all these bases are covered, after that, your expenses will be there. After that, a young professional, at least I wasn't left with very much money when I was young. But if you are, and if you are able to save after that, that money goes towards equity.
Right. Right. So very well said. So I think first you said about insurance. So we have to cover all kind of insurances, whether it is health or car, and then the where the investment. Now let's come back to your case. Like as your income grew, so we would like to understand how your asset allocation, evolved over the
Hmm.
period of time.
Fair. See, I was not very good at asset allocation in the beginning because I did not understand
Correct.
its importance. Over a period of time, I learned the importance of asset allocation. And I will say probably around 2017, 18, which is 10 years after I started investing, I started thinking about asset allocation. Because by 2017, 18, I had also collected some money.
Hmm.
I had been working for so long, my business had been working. So then I started worrying about, see, as long as you're not making money, you want to grow it.
Yeah.
Once you have a little bit of corpus, then you try and protect it. And when you are protecting it, that is where asset allocation becomes very, very useful. Uh, so asset allocation, the fundamental idea is you do not invest all your money in similar assets. You invest them in different type of assets. What are the different type of assets? One is real estate. Now, in real estate also, there are various other types. Flats are there, commercial real estate is
Hmm.
there, land is there, plot and house is there. You can buy a builder floor. You can buy a property which is under construction. So it's a whole different set. The second asset class is gold.
Hmm.
Now, gold again, you can buy gold mutual funds, you can buy gold jewelry, you can buy gold bars, you can buy sovereign gold bonds. Again, various types are there. The third asset is equity. You can buy mutual funds, you can buy individual shares, you can invest in startups also. What are you
Correct.
doing? That There's
Hmm.
also startup equity. That is the third. The fourth asset class is the fixed income or debt class. Suppose you are keeping your money in a mattress. It is giving you zero interest. It is a fixed income product. The value of the fixed income is zero. Suppose you put that money in a saving bank account. You will get 4 5% interest. The bank will tell you well in advance that you will get 4. So that part is fixed. That is a part of fixed income. You put this money in a fixed deposit. There also they will tell you that this is the fixed interest that you are going to get. You can put this money in fixed income mutual funds. So there are mutual funds which will also do this for you. And you can give this money on a loan to your friend also. If you are giving this money on loan to your friend, the friend says that I will give you 15%. That is also a fixed income product. So the first thing that you need to do is whatever money you have, you need to divide it into these four broad asset classes. And if you select these asset classes well, and then, even if you select a slightly bad product, your life will be okay. So, say
Okay.
for example, if you buy a gold bar instead of a gold mutual fund, your returns are not going to be very, very
So
different.
here I would like to ask this question, like if I 100 rupees to invest and there are different asset allocation you just spoke about. So
Yeah.
what would be the percentage? What would be the ratio? How much out of 100 I should put in gold? Or which
Uh,
one
uh,
is the safer? Which one is risky? Which one is growth fund? Because we have different type of investment. So according to you, what would be the allocation percentage wise?
See, you need to consider your asset allocation in three, broad areas, so to say. One area is where you are not looking for returns and where you are looking for safety.
Right.
The other area is where you are not looking for safety, but you're not looking for short-term safety, you're looking for long-term growth returns.
Hmm.
And then there is the middle part where you're looking at returns also and you're looking at safety also. But you don't want too much returns because always returns come with volatility. And you are okay with little less volatility, but little less return.
Correct.
Whatever amount of money you want in safe, that goes in fixed income. Whatever amount of money which goes in growth, that goes in long-term assets. Middle assets will be your gold and real estate, etc. Now, this would be very, very different in terms of percentages for me and you, and for X and for Y, because all of us have different needs from the money. For example, someone who is earning, his need for the money is that he needs to grow this particular amount of money in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. For me, who does not have any income, my goal is I need to withdraw from this money for the next 40 years. So I need to take out little by
So
little.
here again we are talking about young professional like 25 to 30 age. So
If
for
you're talking
them, yeah.
for them, so for them, I believe most young professionals will not be able to, save a lot of money for real estate. They should continue to rent as long as it is possible.
Okay.
They should not try and buy a house for multiple reasons. One
Hmm.
is the benefit of whether it investing and that does not work. That is it is not very favorable. Most real estate investments don't. Some of them work very well. So 20% of real estate investments will go bumper, but 80% of real estate investments will do
Correct.
poorly.
Correct.
So you don't know whether you are going to be in 20% or you are going to be in 80.
Even I feel something, 10 years back, the way you invested or the way asset allocation was there for you, maybe 10 years from then now, and maybe 10 years down the line. So it is going to change, right? Because the economy is changing and, uh,
My requirements will change in 10 years. Huh?
yeah.
That is why it will change. But broad idea is that for a young professional, and see if they buy a house in suppose Pune,
Hmm.
it will be very difficult for them to take a job in Bangalore. अरे मेरा तो घर है वहां पे उसको रेंट पे चढ़ाना होगा बेचना होगा वो
Hmm.
सारी दिक्कतें आ जाती है. So for young professionals, I strongly suggest कि जब तक आपको 10 साल की विजिबिलिटी नहीं है कि 10 साल में इस
Right.
घर में रहने वाला हूं.
Hmm.
अब कई लोगों को तो मतलब वो 22 साल पे विजिबिलिटी आ जाती है कि हाँ यार, मेरे को तो लाइफ लॉन्ग पुणे के अंदर ही रहना है और मेरे को तो बानेर में ही,
सो ट्रू,
तो अब
सो
आप ले
ट्रू।
लो. If that is the case, then you start planning and buy a house early. But if you do not have that clarity, some people don't have that clarity till they're
सही है।
60.
हम्म।
जब तक आपको ये कि नहीं यार, रिटायरमेंट के बाद में तो मैं जो है सतारा शिफ्ट हो जाऊंगा, तब तक ही मैं पुणे में हूं जब तक मेरी नौकरी चल रही है. फेयर. इफ यू आर दैट कैटेगरी, देन यू शुड नॉट बाय. यू
राइट।
शुड बाय हाउस जब आपका 10. तो रियल एस्टेट का
तो ये
डिसीजन
पहली बात होगी कि बाइंग हाउस इज द ऑप्शन, बिकॉज दे हैव टू सी व्हाट इज द 10 years विजन, लाइक एक जगह पे सेटल होना है, या फिर फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी चाहिए जॉब में, तो दैट विल चेंज
10
अकॉर्डिंग।
साल के लिए रहना है ना किसी जगह पे, तो 100% घर खरीद लो.
करेक्ट,
बिकॉज
करेक्ट,
इन 10 years अगर आपको पता है आपको वहां पे रहना है, तो 10 साल में प्राइस पता नहीं कितना बढ़ जाएगा, क्या होगा. यू विल नॉट हैव
एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट।
क्लैरिटी एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो इफ यू नो यू आर गोइंग टू बी हियर इन 10 years, देन
हम्म।
बाय.
हम्म।
इफ यू डोंट नो, देन डोंट बाय. तो और फिर रियल एस्टेट में तो एक यंग प्रोफेशनल का इतना पैसा जाएगा, फिर उसके बाद में एलोकेट करने के लिए
कुछ
कुछ
रहेगा ही नहीं। हाँ, हाँ।
रहेगा.
गुड पॉइंट, या।
So that is why again I'm not very much in favor of young professionals, especially buying real estate. They should keep their money in liquid financial assets. Liquid financial assets हो गए अपने equity वाले, गोल्ड वाले, या फिक्स्ड इनकम वाले.
तो अभी हमारे पास है 20,000 है मंथ का
हाँ,
सेविंग के लिए, जो अभी एलोकेट करना है उसको, 20 to
अगर आपके पास
30,000।
में 20,000 है और आपका पीपीएफ एनपीएस ये सब कट
सब
चुका
हो
है,
गया, या सब हो गया
अब
है।
हो गया, तो आप सारा का सारा इक्विटी में डाल.
ओके,
100% इक्विटी इज
ओके।
द राइट कॉल फॉर यू, फॉर अ यंग प्रोफेशनल जिसका पीपीएफ भी जा रहा है, एनपीएस भी जा रहा है, उसके खर्चे, इमरजेंसी फंड भी आपका बना हुआ है. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट योर
या यू
इमरजेंसी.
सेड अर्लियर लाइक व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फंड्स वी नीड, तो वो पूरा निकाल के।
हाँ, सो वो
हाँ।
पूरा निकाल के, इंश्योरेंस वगैरह वो सब कर करा के जो बच रहा है, वो सारा पैसा आप इक्विटी के अंदर डालते रहो.
हम्म।
एंड यू कीप डूइंग दैट. भाई आपका इक्विटी का पोर्टफोलियो बड़ा होता रहेगा. द डे योर पोर्टफोलियो बिकम्स 5 times योर इनकम,
हम्म।
एनुअल इनकम. सपोज
ओके।
आज की डेट में आपका 25 लाख का पैकेज है, आज से 5 साल में आपका पैकेज शायद 40 लाख का हो गया. बट जब भी आपका पैकेज जो है उससे 5 times आपका हो सकता है, आपका पैकेज जो है 10 लाख का और आपका पोर्टफोलियो 50 लाख का हो. सो वंस इट हिट 50 lakhs, तब आप किसी प्रोफेशनल के पास में जाओ कि सर
हम्म।
ये रहा मेरा पोर्टफोलियो, अब मेरे को बता दो कि कितना मेरे को एसेट एलोकेशन करना है, क्या करना है, एंड ही विल डू इट पर्सनली फॉर यू.
ओके।
एंड टिल दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आप जो 2 करोड़ पे पहुंचोगे ना, तो ऐसा नहीं है आपका सारा इक्विटी में होगा, आपका एनपीएस भी बढ़ गया होगा.
हम्म।
You do PPF, NPS and all these things for 10 years. You don't realize 10 साल में एनपीएस में लोगों के 50-50 लाख रुपए बहुत आसानी से इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं. दिस इज नॉट people who had huge salaries. This is people who had 20 lakhs, 25 lakh rupee salary, which is reasonably common for a 30-year-old. 30 साल में आजकल 25 लाख सैलरी होना कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है. 30 से 40 तक एनपीएस में डाला, 50 लाख तो आपका एनपीएस पीपीएफ पीएफ में इकट्ठा हो जाता है आजकल.
तो ये 30 years वाला जो यंग प्रोफेशनल है, ही कीप्स इन्वेस्टिंग लाइक दिस, और एक हम अज्यूम करते हैं कि एक स्टेबल इनकम उसका बढ़ रहा है, जैसे 25 लाख का 30 लाख हो गया पैकेज, 35 हुआ, 40 हुआ, तो कितने साल में वो अभी रिटायर हो सकता है?
ये डिपेंड करेगा कि उसकी सेविंग्स की परसेंटेज क्या है. सो मैंने बोला ना, ये सारा का सारा आपने पहले इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कर दिए, पीपीएफ कर दिया, निकल गया. उसके बाद में जो पैसा बचता है, अगर आप उसमें से आधा स्पेंड करते हो और आधा उठा के आप इक्विटी में डाल देते हो,
ये जो स्टेज आ रहा है, हाँ, ओके,
हाँ, तो वेनेवर
व्हेनेवर।
आप 30 लाख कमा रहे हो तब भी आ सकती है, आप 25,000 कमा रहे हो तब भी आ सकती है. डिपेंड्स आप अपने एक्सपेंसेस कैसे कंट्रोल करके रख रहे हो.
करेक्ट।
आफ्टर ऑल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, आफ्टर ऑल कट्स, if you can live in 50% of your expenses, within 10 years, you should be in a financial independent sort of position.
ग्रेट।
अगर मार्केट आपके एवरेज रहे तो. अगर मार्केट खराब रहे तो वो 10 का जो है 12 या 13 साल हो जाएगा. अगर मार्केट अच्छे रहे तो वो 10 का 8 साल या 9 साल हो जाएगा.
स्टॉक मार्केट इज नॉट डूइंग दैट ग्रेट अगर हम एवरेज इन्वेस्टर की बात करते हैं,
ऐसा
नॉट
नहीं.
फॉर, ऐसा नहीं, ओके।
लास्ट के 2 साल की बात नहीं है. हुआ क्या है, लास्ट के 7 महीने अगस्त सितंबर से बहुत खराब रहे हैं. उसके पहले का 1.5 साल आप देखोगी तो उसके पहले का
अच्छा
1.5
था,
साल
हाँ।
बहुत अच्छा था. तो वो यही था कि वो इतना ज्यादा अच्छा था तो अब वो इतना सा खराब हुआ है तो लोगों को आदत नहीं रह गई है, उनको अच्छा अच्छा देखने की आदत है। अगर आप मार्केट फॉल्स के हिसाब से देखोगे तो ये जो चल रहा है कि खराब जा रहा है, ये बहुत ज्यादा इनसिग्निफिकेंट है। इससे ज्यादा बुरी हालत कई बार हो, मतलब 2021-22 के अंदर एक
हम्म।
पीरियड था, 2020 में कोविड तो सबको याद होगा ही,
ऑफ कोर्स।
2018 में भी था, 2013-14 के अंदर भी था, 2008 में बहुत बड़ा फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस आया था, सन 2000 में क्राइसिस आया था, उसके पहले हर्षद मेहता का स्कैम 92। तो हर 5 साल में जो है ना, ये सब कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहता है। अगर आप इस हिसाब से देखने वाले हो अपने पोर्टफोलियो को, देन प्रोबेबली इक्विटी इज नॉट द राइट आइडिया फॉर यू। इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ, जो आपका सरप्लस पैसा है उसको आप इक्विटी में डालते रहो, 5 साल 10 साल आप डालते रहो। भाई, आप जो पैसा लगा रहे हो वो इंडिया की इकोनॉमी में पैसा लगा रहे हो।
हम्म।
अगर इंडिया की इकोनॉमी डूब गई तो आपका करियर तो वैसे ही डूब जाने वाला है। तो फिर काहे, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी अगर आपको 10 साल में इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट्स अगर रिटर्न नहीं देते।
हम्म।
अगर 10 साल में इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट्स रिटर्न नहीं देते हैं, यानी कि इंडिया की जो टॉप कंपनीज हैं अगले 10 साल में अपना प्रॉफिट नहीं बढ़ा रही हैं।
हम्म।
और अगर 10 साल में इंडिया की टॉप कंपनीज प्रॉफिट नहीं बढ़ा रही हैं, तो वो और नौकरियां जनरेट नहीं कर रही हैं। अगर वो और नौकरियां
Correct.
जनरेट नहीं कर रही हैं, तो आपको देयर विल बी अ मच मच बिगर क्राइसिस ऑन आवर हैंड्स इन अ
Correct.
डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमी, especially like India. You take a 10-year, 15-year, and we are talking about asset allocation for retirement. Then it has to be an equity driven asset allocation, क्योंकि जो फिक्स्ड इनकम और स्टेबल वाला पार्ट है, वो तो सरकार आपका धक्का मार मार के पीपीएफ में और पीएफ में और एनपीएफ में सरकार करवाई दी है।
हम्म।
इमरजेंसी फंड में भी आपने जो 6 महीने के अपने एक्सपेंसेस रखे, 6 महीने के एक्सपेंसेस बहुत होते हैं, वो भी तो आपका पोर्टफोलियो का डेट वाला पोर्शन है। तो
हम्म।
जब तक आपका पोर्टफोलियो इतना बड़ा नहीं हो जा रहा है कि आपका सैलरी का 5 गुना हो गया है, कभी ना कभी वो स्थिति आएगी और बहुत आपको खुश होना चाहिए। यू शुड बी वेरी हैप्पी दैट योर पोर्टफोलियो इज सो बिग। That is when I believe you start going to a professional and start paying him that 1-2% fee that they charge for helping you.
तो एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, लाइक अवर इंडियन मेंटालिटी, लाइक वॉट एवर टाइम वेन एवर यू रिटायर, जैसे हम 60 में भी रिटायर होते हैं, फिर भी ना एक फियर होता है माइंड में, लाइक कि कैसे ये लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए सस्टेनेबिलिटी होगा। और अगर इफ वी थिंक ऑफ रिटायरिंग एट एन अर्ली एज, तो वो फियर तो और बढ़ जाएगा। व्हाट डू यू
बहुत
थिंक
ज्यादा,
अबाउट इट?
बहुत ज्यादा। तो मेरे को भी ये सारी चीजें और जो डर रहता था वो बहुत ही रहता था, और मैं बोलूंगा कि थोड़ा बहुत मुझे आज भी वो डर रहता है। आई बी लाइंग
हम्म।
अगर मैं बोलूंगा कि कोई टेंशन नहीं है, क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मेरे हाथ में अब कुछ नहीं।
हम्म।
इट इज ऑल इन द पोर्टफोलियो। अब वो पोर्टफोलियो चला तो मेरा पैसा बनेगा, नहीं चला तो मेरा पैसा नहीं बनेगा। हाँ, मैंने पोर्टफोलियो को अच्छे से डाइवर्सिफाई करके रखा हुआ है, कुछ इस पोर्शन से आएंगे रिटर्न, उससे आएंगे, तो आई मैनेज्ड इट, होपफुली आई हैव मैनेज्ड इट वेल।
हम्म।
बट अब वर्ल्ड वॉर हो गई तो क्या कोई कर लेगा? मार दिया बम जयपुर के ऊपर पाकिस्तान ने, तो कोई क्या कर
सर
लेगा?
ऐसा मत बोलो।
हाँ, तो कभी भी कुछ भी हो,
वर्स्ट सिनेरियो, या जस्ट एक्सपेक्टिंग द वर्स्ट सिनेरियो, राइट?
यू कांट रियली, तो उसके अंदर मेरे को काफी टेंशन है। बट
हम्म।
फिर उसके साथ साथ एक ये भी होता है कि मेरे को अपनी एबिलिटीज पे भी भरोसा है कि अगर
करेक्ट।
मेरा ये फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट वाला, विच आई एम फेयरली कॉन्फिडेंट आई विल बी एबल टू टेक केयर ऑफ इट, फॉर सम रीजन इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू, आई एम वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट इन माई एबिलिटी टू create work, find job, and make more money if
या।
need be. So there is maybe a 5% chance or a 2% chance that might be needed. But
करेक्ट।
because I am fully confident in my abilities to restart work if need be, so that takes care of the thing. The other couple of things which are there is because I have a lot of startup investments that I have made, which I have assumed will go to zero. But if any one of those startup investments works,
या।
so that takes care of a lot of your problems. So I've made 10 startup investment. I am assuming all 10 of them will fail. Even if one works, that takes care of a few years of expenses. So,
अभी आपने जैसे स्टार्टअप के बारे में बोला, सो आई जस्ट थिंक देयर आर टू टाइप ऑफ पीपल। एक जो होता है यंग प्रोफेशनल दैट दे वांट टू कीप डूइंग देयर प्रोफेशनल जॉब एंड दे डोंट रेसिस्ट चेंजेस, उनको और कोई चेंज नहीं चाहिए लाइफ में. बट देयर आर फ्यू हु वांट टू गो इनटू स्टार्टअप और एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में जाना है उनको, राइट, टू अचीव फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम. सो देयर आर टू टाइप ऑफ पीपल. तो आपको लाइक अकॉर्डिंग टू यू एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का जो पाथ है, हाउ मच आई मीन रिलायबल और हाउ मच कितना रिस्क है उसमें इफ यू रियली वांट टू अचीव फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम?
देखिए, गोल आपका कभी भी ये नहीं हो सकता है कि मैं फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम के लिए मैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में जा रहा हूँ. अगर आप
हम्म.
वो कर रहे हो, यू आर बाउंड टू फेल.
हम्म.
अगर आप एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में जा रहे हो तो आप इसलिए जा रहे हो कि मेरे को ये काम करने में या तो मजा आता है, या मेरे को यहाँ पे कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी दिख रही है, या मैं यहाँ पे 5 रुपए का सामान खरीद के 6 रुपए में बेच के आई
बेच
कैन
सकता हूँ. आई हैव दैट स्किल. ओके.
मेक. मतलब कुछ ना कुछ आप धंधे के लिए जा रहे हो वहां पे,
हम्म.
आप इसलिए नहीं जा रहे हो कि आप फाइनेंशियल फ्री होने के लिए.
हम्म.
अगर आप स्पेसिफिकली कुछ चीजें करना चाहते हो फाइनेंशियली फ्री होने के लिए, देन यू नीड टू स्टार्ट टेकिंग सम अनकन्वेंशनल स्लाइटली रिस्की डिसीजंस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे कि आप किसी स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर जाके नौकरियां करना चालू करो. तो क्या होगा, आप नौकरियां करना चालू करोगे तो वहां पे एक तो आपको शायद कुछ स्टार्टअप के अंदर छोटे मोटे एम्प्लॉय स्टॉक ऑप्शंस मिल जाएंगे. वो अगर आपको नहीं भी मिलते हैं तो भी आपको पता तो लग जाएगा कि स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर होता क्या है, आप कर पाओगे नहीं कर पाओगे, क्या उसका कितनी मगजमारी रहती है. यू विल गेट अ रियल लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस. सो प्लीज,
Right.
if you are thinking of it, please work at least for a year in a startup to get what a good idea. And then, जो मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ, you will realize that it's not really a path for financial freedom.
हम्म.
But जो एम्प्लॉय वाला पाथ है वो है, आपने जहां पे नौकरी करी वो कंपनी चल गई तो चल गई, आपके पैसे बन गए. The other thing that you can do from taking a calculated risk perspective is that you try finding a job outside India, and it's not just US. आप
हम्म.
माल्टा में भी, यूरोप के अंदर भी, पोर्चुगल के अंदर भी अगर आप कोई छोटी मोटी अपॉर्चुनिटी कहीं पे खोज लेते हो, विच इज अ फ्रीलांसर टाइप ऑफ अ जॉब, इवन इन दुबई, इफ यू कैन डू दैट, यू विल एंड अप सेविंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. एंड जो काम करने में शायद आपको इंडिया में 15 साल, 17 साल या 20 साल लगते, वो
हम्म.
वहां पे आपको करने में 10 साल या 12 साल में आप यू विल बी एबल टू सेव द सेम मनी. बट देर इज अ रिस्क इन दिस कि अच्छा हाँ, पोर्चुगल जाके फ्रीलांसिंग वाली नौकरियां कर, नॉट एवरीवन कैन डू दैट. द
Right.
अदर
Right.
आइडिया इज दैट यू मेक एन इन्वेस्टमेंट इन हायर लर्निंग. आप इंडिया से एमबीए कर सकते हो, बाहर से एमबीए कर सकते हो, एमएस कर सकते हो. उसमें बहुत खर्चा होता है, बहुत आपके साल 2 साल मेहनत जाती है. तो दैट इज अ रिस्क अगेन दैट यू आर टेकिंग. कि क्या, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो ना कि एमबीए के बाद में कैसी नौकरी लगेगी, हो सकता है लगेगी. आप कनाडा गए, कनाडा में जाके आपने ज्वाइन किया, बट वहां पे आपका नहीं, आपकी बहुत कोई अच्छी जॉब लगी. और कुछ कुछ लोगों के साथ में अगेन वही, मे बी 80-20 लोग परसेंट का ठीक रहता है, 20% को दिक्कत होती है. आई डोंट नो व्हाट द नंबर्स आर, बट दैट इज अगेन अ रिस्क. तो
Okay.
आपको कुछ ना कुछ तो रिस्क लेना पड़ेगा, कैलकुलेटेड होना चाहिए, जो कि आपके फेवर में. हायर एजुकेशन, आप यू सी दैट एज अ रिस्क और यू सी दैट एज एन इन्वेस्टमेंट. इट्स द सेम थिंग विद इक्विटी. इक्विटी में आप डाल रहे हो, रिस्क है तो रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा. आप स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर नौकरी करने जा रहे हो तो वो रिस्क है कि आपकी 6 महीने में नौकरी चली गई, कंपनी बंद हो गई, बट अगर चल गई तो उसका रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा. So those
Correct.
sort of little bit of extra risks that you need to take. But
Right.
blindly starting your business is not something that I would recommend at all.
Recommend. And what are the common mistake normally the young professionals make with their money,
Uh,
and how they can avoid them? What do
See,
you think?
I've seen this happen very much in these days is कि सबको लगता है वो बहुत अच्छे इन्वेस्टर हैं. वैसा नहीं है. ये लोगों को बुल मार्केट के अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है कि जहां पैसा डाला वो चल गया इस वजह
हाँ.
से. बट वैसा नहीं है. सो द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक दैट आई हैव सीन पीपल मेक इज दे ट्राई एंड थिंक कि यार मैं इस स्टॉक में डालूंगा वर्सेस उस स्टॉक में डालूंगा तो मेरा प्रॉफिट ज्यादा होगा. मैं
हम्म.
इस म्यूचुअल फंड में डालूंगा वर्सेस मैं उस म्यूचुअल फंड में डालूंगा तो मेरा प्रॉफिट ज्यादा होगा. तो वो लोग ये सिलेक्शन करने पे कि कौन सी इक्विटी में डालना है, कौन से फंड में डालना है, इस सब के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं. या अभी तो मार्केट बहुत ज्यादा चढ़ा हुआ है तो इसलिए मैं बेच देता हूं, या अभी बहुत गिरा हुआ है इसलिए मैं खरीद लेता हूं. दैट इज टाइमिंग. इन सब चीजों पे ध्यान नहीं देके एसेट एलोकेशन पे ध्यान दो कि भाई मेरे को तो पैसा अपना इक्विटी के अंदर डालना है.
Hmm.
Make that decision. That for a young professional who is everything else being taken care of, bulk of your money should be going in equity. अगर आपने ये डिसाइड कर लिया इक्विटी के अंदर डालना है, और फिर उसके बाद में आप ये सोचने में लगे हुए हो ना कि अच्छा कौन से फंड में डालूं, इसको मैं कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करूं, मेरे को 25,000 की एसआईपी करनी है, उसके लिए मैं 3 फंड लगाऊं या 5 लगाऊं, तो आप अपना टाइम और एनर्जी वेस्ट कर रहे हो. इसकी बजाय इस पे ध्यान दो कि मैं 25,000 की तनख्वाह को कैसे मैं 30,000 पे लेके जाऊं. हाउ डू आई फोकस ऑन making more money?
Hmm.
The only decision as a young professional that you should be making in investing is मुझे इक्विटी में कितना पैसा डालना है, मुझे दैट्स इट. और बाकी सोचने ही कौन सा फंड कब खरीदना है, एसआईपी 25,000 की करूं 20,000 की करूं, इन सब से कोई फायदा होते हुए, जो फायदा होता है ना वो किस्मत का फायदा होता है, वो आपके डिसीजंस का फायदा नहीं होता है. पीपल थिंक दैट इट इज देयर टैलेंट दैट इज मेकिंग देम मनी. It's not their talent. It's simply luck. And because you kept on batting at every ball, कोई ना कोई तो लग के चौका चला ही जाएगा वाला. But
Correct.
bat करते रहनी पड़ेगी.
And so, what about crypto investment? Because now it's been trending since last 2 years,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. So, crypto as a sector, I'm personally very, very bullish on. There
Hmm.
is a company that I've invested in which works on crypto as an angel investment. I personally have some investments in
Crypto
various crypto assets
coin.
as well, coins as well, which have done well. But is this something which I believe 99% of the people should be doing? My answer is no.
Hmm.
Because even someone like me who is a little bit involved in the ecosystem, even I don't understand it fully. Someone like me, I'm investing maybe 1%, 2%, 3% of my net worth in crypto, and I'm able to make a meaningful bet.
Hmm.
With this 3%, I'm able to invest in a company also. With this, I'm able to invest in a few coins also. With this, I'm able to work in the little bit in the crypto world as well. I'm able to make crypto bets as well.
Okay.
But if you have 10 lakh rupees, 10 लाख का 3% अगर आप करोगे तो कितना हुआ? 30,000 रुपए. 30,000 रुपए से आप क्या ही बेट कर लोगे? एंड इफ यू आर गोइंग टू बेट विद 20% और 25% ऑफ योर मनी, और वो कल जीरो हो गया, तो
Yeah.
आपको रात नहीं आएगी. सो ओनली पुटिंग इन मनी दैट if it goes to zero tomorrow, if you are okay with that, that is when you should invest in crypto. And I would like to tell people, especially students, do not look crypto as a investing mechanism for now.
Avenue. Hmm.
Think of it as an avenue where you can make money. You
Hmm.
can learn stuff on crypto. Crypto as a field has very high demand across the world. So if you are able to develop a skill set, then you will make a lot of money rather than investing in crypto. So that is probably a much better bet. So invest your time in crypto. Do not invest your money in crypto is what I would say.
Right. But sir, again, the question is there, crypto, though it is well sorted that it is a risky investment. But again, when it comes to equity, what about the returns? Like, because whatever you are saving for the early retirement, you need to withdraw it every month or annually, some amount. And if it is not, if equity investments are not giving the returns, enough returns, so how that problem will be solved?
That is where asset allocation comes into the picture. I'll give you my personal
Okay.
example. So, what I have done is I have kept 5 years of my expenses
Hmm.
in purely safe, 100% safe assets,
Okay.
which are ultra short term and liquid funds. So, there
Okay.
are ultra short term mutual funds which will invest in very low risk issues. There are liquid funds which will invest in very low risk issues. In liquid funds, you can invest today, take out the money next Monday, you will still would have made, you might have made only 2 rupees, but you would have made some money even
Okay.
in 7 days. So they are very, very safe. So for 5 years, I have money in these safe instruments. For another 5 years, I have money in medium risk instruments, which is essentially gold becomes a part of it.
Okay.
Hybrid hybrid funds become a part of it. REITs become a part of it. I personally don't hold any REITs or InvITs
Okay.
because they became popular over the last 3-4 years. I've been building a portfolio for last 15 years. If I was starting today, 100% I will have some REITs and some InvITs in my medium term portfolio. So that is another 5 years of medium term. So I have 10 years of money for which I do not even need to look at equity. So even for the next 10 years, whatever is going to happen, I can keep
Okay.
eating from this particular portion of my portfolio. In the next 10 years, if everything has gone bad, then I have bigger problems and there are riots on the street. If in 10 years nothing happens to equity, I am hopeful on the future of India that in 10 years,
Sure, sure, sir. Yeah.
and from any point of time, if you look at any 10-year windows, equity does reasonably well over 10-year time frame. And if you believe that 10 years is less, I have done 5 and 5. You do 7 and 7.
Hmm.
You have 14 and then put beyond 14 in equity. So that is how I have friends who have instead of, so I have done 5, 5. I have friends who have done 2 and 3. 2 in short term, 3 in medium term, everything above 5 years is in equity. So that depends upon how much variation you can handle. I have no other source of income. I cannot handle this much variation. I have
Hmm.
to rely on this.
Well said. So if you could go back to your early 30s, it's your case, right? And what financial advice would you give to yourself, if there is any?
Good question. I would say that as I told you, I kept looking for that which is the better mutual fund, which is better stock to buy, better mutual fund to buy. Should I do a SIP of 20,000 rupees or should I do of 25,000 rupees? और कभी कभी इस केस में 3-3 महीने तक एसआईपी चालू ही नहीं होती थी.
Hmm.
ये जो डिसीजन पैरालिसिस हो जाता था ना कि अच्छा क्या करना है, क्या करना है, क्या करना है, उसी के अंदर कई कई बार बहुत जल्दी टाइम निकल जाता है कि अच्छा हाँ चलो ठीक है यार, अभी अगला बोनस आ जाएगा फिर देखेंगे कि क्या करते हैं. तो आई डिलेड अ लॉट इन थिंकिंग. मैं बोलता हूँ अगर मैंने गलत डिसीजन भी ले लिया हो, गलत डिसीजन क्या हो, ऐसा तो है नहीं ना कि मैं ये सोच रहा था कि मैं एक्स कंपनी में पैसा डालूं या वाई कंपनी में पैसा डालूं वो चली. मैं तो ये सोच रहा था कि मैं आईसीआईसीआई के म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डालूं या मैं एचडीएफसी के म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डालूं. अब उनमें से तो मैं किसी में भी डाल देता,
Yeah.
both of them would have given more or less the same returns. The difference is very less in their return. But the point is, वो पैसा मैंने उनमें तो डाला नहीं, वो मेरे सेविंग्स के अंदर ही पड़ा रहता था. So there is a lot of missed opportunity that I have had. So I will, if I can go back, I will go back and tell the 32-year-old Handa that don't keep your money in savings. Invest. कहीं भी डाल दे. मतलब make a bad decision, but make a decision.
Correct. So, as per your experience, okay, not about the future, but as per your experience in last 10 to 12 years, जो भी आप इक्विटी में इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हो, तो ओवरऑल आपको कितना 10 years में एवरेज रिटर्न्स वो मिला है, राइट?
ओवरऑल मैं देखिए, मैं इक्विटी का अगर बात करूं तो इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स के अंदर तकरीबन 16-17% के
ओके,
आसपास मेरे
वेरी गुड.
रिटर्न्स रहे हैं. बट बिकॉज मेरे पोर्टफोलियो के अंदर बहुत सारा ये फिक्स्ड इनकम और डेट वाला पार्ट भी रहता है जो कि मेरा लो रिस्क वाला पार्ट रहता है, मेरे ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो के जो रिटर्न्स हैं वो 11-12% के आसपास रहते हैं. बट उससे फायदा एक ही होता है कि जब वो मार्केट गिरता है तो ये इक्विटी के जो 16 है वो तो 16 से गिर के 12-13 पे आ जाएंगे. पर मेरे
करेक्ट.
पोर्टफोलियो वाला जो है वो 13 से गिरेगा तो 11-10.5 तक ही जाएगा. माई ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो डज नॉट वेरी दैट मच. इट्स नॉट दैट वॉलेटाइल बिकॉज इट इज नॉट अ प्योर इक्विटी.
So, sir, please
मेरे
tell us.
इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Okay, okay. So, sir, please tell us about your projects like your podcast देसी फायर, उसके बारे में बताइए. कैसे चल रहा है ये प्रोजेक्ट और क्या है?
सो पॉडकास्ट के ऊपर मैं पर्सनल फाइनेंस रिलेटेड आई कीप कॉलिंग पीपल हु वर्क इन द फील्ड ऑफ पर्सनल फाइनेंस सो दैट दे कैन टॉक अबाउट इट एंड एजुकेट अदर्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. क्योंकि मेरे को जब मैं खुद भी ये सब कर रहा था, आई फाउंड इट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. देयर इज वेरी लिटिल इंफॉर्मेशन दैट यूज्ड टू एग्जिस्ट. हाँ, आज 2025 में बहुत सारे चैनल्स हैं, वीडियोस हैं, ब्लॉग्स हैं, रील्स हैं, बट
करेक्ट.
आज से 10 साल पहले आप जाओगे तो ये सब बिल्कुल
नहीं.
नहीं होता था. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि, और जब धीरे धीरे होने लगा, मैंने यूएस के काफी सारे फायर पॉडकास्ट और वो सब देखे 2020 में, कोविड के दौरान, जिससे मेरे को आइडिया मिला, इंस्पिरेशन मिला कि ऐसा मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ. तो तब भी मैं देखता था, मैं खोजता था कि यार कोई इंडिया के अंदर भी कर रहा है तो दिखे कि अच्छा, हाँ, क्योंकि वो सब लोग बात करते हैं अपने, हाँ, इतने डॉलर होने चाहिए, 401k होना चाहिए, आईआरए होना चाहिए, S&P 500 होना चाहिए. नहीं समझ में आता है हमको.
हम्म.
वी नीड इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट की. आईसीआईसीआई म्यूचुअल फंड और एचडीएफसी म्यूचुअल फंड बोल रहा हूँ तो किसी को समझ में तो आएगा. तो इसलिए मेरे को लगा कि ये बहुत जरूरी है कि कोई इंडियनाइज करके किया जाए. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम डूइंग दैट. आई एम आल्सो वर्किंग ऑन अ चैटबॉट विच
ओके.
इज अगेन यही पर्सनल फाइनेंस रिलेटेड चैटबॉट है. उसके अंदर भी आइडिया यही है कि अभी तक जो भी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं वो सब आपको बहुत ही ज्यादा यूएस बेस्ड गाइडेंस देते हैं. तो उसको इंडियनाइज करना, अब जितना हो पाएगा मुझसे मैं कर दूंगा, बट यही है कि मैं करूंगा, मेरे को देख के हो सकता है कोई और स्मार्टर आदमी, मेहनती आदमी, टेकी आदमी हो सकता है, उसका कोई उससे अच्छा वर्जन बना ले. डायरेक्शन में तो कम से कम सही काम करना जरूरी है. मे बी समवन एल्स डज अ बेटर जॉब. इसीलिए मैं इन सब चीजों के ऊपर काम करता रहता हूँ कि क्या पता किसी का तो फायदा होगा इससे.
राइट. राइट. I think that brings us to the end of this insightful conversation with you. From understanding the nuance of asset allocation to gaining practical tips on early retirement, we hope you found valuable takeaways that can help you on your own financial independent journey. A big thank you to you, Ravi, for sharing your experience and wisdom with us today. And if you'd like to hear more from him, be sure to check out the Desi FIRE podcast for more expert interviews and actionable financial advice. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback help us to bring more content that empowers your financial journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay disciplined, and keep working towards your financial goals. See you soon.